Good afternoon, everyone. With this, I would like to start the webinar for today. Once again, good afternoon and namaste, everyone. I'm Rumi Shakya, and I'm a Business Development Manager at Universal Language and Computer Institute. Just to give you a brief who we are again Universal Language and Computer Institute, ULCI. We are established in 1984, and we are located at Dili Bazar, Kathmandu, Nepal. Our mission is to assist all ULCI students attain their personal, educational, and career goals quickly and efficiently with the aid of latest technology advances. We are firm believers that the service provided to students be honest and accurate. We are proud to say, and I take this pride to say, that ULCI is the largest education and exam center in Nepal. We are only the authorized first OET exam center in Kathmandu, Nepal. We also do the OET registration, OET preparation, both the online classes at ULCI and face-to-face on-site classes at ULCI. Today, we have organized the webinar focusing on doctors and nurses. The rationale behind this webinar is to provide concrete information on OET preparation classes, and OET registration at ULCI by our experts. The webinar will cover the topics on what is OET, why choose OET, components of OET, who recognize OET, how to prepare, and how to register. Foremost important, online classes at ULCI, also the OET face-to-face classes at ULCI. Now, I would like to welcome all the participants in this webinar. During the webinar, we will mute everyone except the presenter. But if you have any questions, then please use the chat box, which will cover and answer at the end of this session, since we have question and answer session at the end of our webinar. I would also like to welcome our honorable presenter and co-presenters. Firstly, I would like to welcome and invite our honorable presenter, Ashish Bhushan sir. He is an OET Senior Business Development Manager for South Asia region. He leads on creating awareness about OET and supports its growth in the region through OET preparation. Ashish sir, please take over the webinar, but I would like to also play the YouTube video before Ashish sir take it over.
Everybody has a dream. While our dreams may be big, each step we take brings us one step closer to where we want to be, who we want to be. OET is the world's only international English language test specifically for healthcare professionals who dream of working in an English-speaking environment. We test your English using real healthcare scenarios based on your chosen healthcare profession, so you can feel confident that you're learning and being tested on the language that you'll use at work. OET is your passport to healthcare jobs throughout the world, to live, to work, to thrive. OET is the next step to help you get to where you want to be. Take the next step today with OET.
Ashish sir, please take over the webinar, please.
Thanks a lot, Rumi, and thanks for all the participants for joining this session. A quick introduction about myself. My name is Ashish Bhushan. I'm based out of Delhi, India, and manage the South Asia operations for business and operations for OET, Occupational English Test. I've been associated with the organization for a long time now. It's been almost 9 years. I've been looking and working with OET specifically for the last 3 years now. We have a small team based out of India, which we kind of manage the operations and the business development for the OET in the region. Thanks a lot for inviting Mr. Pant for this webinar and organizing this session. We are really thankful and grateful to you and to all the participants who have joined the session. Without taking much of time, I would like to start with the session. So I hope you are able to see my screen. So quickly to start with, uh, all right. So to talk about OET, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of. OET is owned by a company called CBLA, Cambridge Boxer Language Assessment, which is a joint venture between Cambridge Assessment English and Boxer Institute. Cambridge Assessment English, some of you might know it's one of the oldest and largest assessment organization in the world, and specifically work on to creating language assessment, English languages assessment, specifically for non-English speakers. Boxel is an institute based out of Australia, and both these organizations together, they own CBLA, which creates and develops this examination called Occupational English Test. What does the test cover? The overview is basically it assesses the English language skills of healthcare professionals who would want to register or work in an English speaking environment. It largely replicates your English language skills required for effective communication, and it definitely provides a valid and fair assessment of all four language skills of speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Um, as Rumi mentioned, we would not be taking the questions right now, but in case there are any questions which is coming up right at any of the slides, feel free to mention in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to take it towards the end of the session. What are the professions that we cover in OET? These are the 12 professions as you can see on the screen. We'll start with medicine, nursing, physiotherapy, pharmacy, radiography, podiatry, dietetics, dentistry, speech pathology, optometry, veterinary science, and occupational therapy. These are largely the healthcare professions which are covered under OET, which means someone who within the healthcare, as a profession is under any of these 12 professions, they should be or would be uh, can take the OET as an examination to work or practice in an English speaking country. Moving further, what are the top 5 professions? Nursing, medicine, pharmacy, physiotherapy, dentistry. It also has to do what are the number of vacancies or requirements that comes in different parts of the world, or the medical boards who have actually accepted OET. In terms of nursing, definitely it is one of the highest across the South Asia. And if you look at the countries like within South Asia, India itself is one of the source countries for nurses largely. But when we talk about other South Asian countries like Nepal or Sri Lanka, a lot of doctors apart from nurses, they also take OET, to apply in one of the medical boards of UK or elsewhere. What's the reason why candidates choose OET? Three reasons largely is because of the recognition, relevance, and familiarity and confidence. When I talk about recognition, it's largely accepted by the health and medical boards of in UK, Nursing and Midwifery Board, General Medical Council, GMC, which is largely your pharmacy or NHS. If we talk about Australia and New Zealand, it is accepted by the AFRA, and the healthcare boards in New Zealand. It's also accepted by the Immigration Board for visa purposes in Australia, New Zealand, and UK, as well as some of you would be aware of. Because the examination is kind of prepared or made in the context of healthcare scenario, the relevance or the familiarity is very much in context of to the healthcare professions. And that's one reason why it definitely helps the candidates to develop the languages schools, which means it basically develops your confidence in preparing for the examination or to communicate effectively in the healthcare workplace. And these are broadly some of the reasons why candidates prefer or they choose OET. This is kind of a small survey which we did. in 2018, and the results were again why the candidates are choosing a OET is specifically for healthcare. Most of the candidates, almost 80%, they say that they chose it because of the healthcare reason. It also uses the healthcare scenarios to test the English. 56% said, 40% said that it helps them learn the language they would be requiring at the workplace. And if you look at almost 60%, they say that they feel more confident when they take a healthcare specific test. If you look at only 19% of the candidates, which was still, who would have taken in any other English language test, and they prefer to taking OET because it was a healthcare English test. So largely, these are some of the reasons why candidates prefer taking OET for their healthcare working. Um, Definitely, the test has been designed for the healthcare professions. It replicates the language skills required to deliver patient safety and quality care. It has been developed in consultation with subject matter experts, and candidates learn the type of language they'll need at work. Let me also tell you, which some of you may not be aware, the creators or the developers of OET are also the developers of IELTS examination. Now, some of you might know that IELTS is also developed by Cambridge Assessment English, which is a joint body that owns OET, CBLA. So the developers, the experts who created IELTS, they are also behind creating the occupational English test. So there's definitely two set of teams who work behind this examination. In terms of what's in the test, definitely, as I mentioned earlier, there are four parts to it. There are four skills that we test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. In terms of listening, reading, listening, basically what you have to do is identify facts during short consultation as extracts. They are gist of the workplace communication, and so then on the background there would be short interview or discussions which are kind of played, and you listen to that and answer those questions. In terms of reading, it's more of a skimming and a scanning, because obviously the texts are quite long. What you'll have to follow is the gist of the workplace, which has been given into the questions, or understanding in a comprehensive the comprehensive text. Writing is basically to deal with your within the profession, which will be probably writing a letter or a referral letter, or colleague or a carer, basically to write a letter to them. Speaking is again very much relevant to talking to a patient or a relative of the patient, showing empathy and things like that. So these are some of the factors which are kind of covered in OET, and definitely which that makes it a fit for purpose language test that reflects workplace communication in a healthcare scenario. In terms of how OET is different for general or academic English test, if I compare with any of the general English or academic test, we cover topics which are very much relevant to healthcare scenarios. For a general English test, say for example, in writing, the questions are like write an essay on a very general topic. So anything under the sky can be asked. Whereas in OET, you will be asked to write a referral letter, which is could be to a colleague or to a senior doctor. In terms of speaking, this is again something which is very much related to a healthcare profession. Whereas in general English test, you would be asked to talk about a scenario or a general topic, could be urbanization or environment or anything like that. Whereas in OET, what you basically have to do is talk to your interlocutor. So there's basically an interlocutor, and you have to talk to the person. So a scenario will be given to you, which means you are talking, the interlocutor will act as a patient or a carer of the patient, and you basically have to, depending on the scenarios, you talk to that particular person exactly in the same way how you would be doing in a healthcare situation, probably at a hospital or at a workplace. So there's something which makes it very unique and fit to purpose when you're preparing or when you are taking this examination. And that's one of the unique features what OET has none of the examinations across the globe has these kind of measures that assesses English language skills of a healthcare professionals in a complete healthcare context. Moving on to what the test covers, definitely, as I said, listening, reading, speaking, and writing. But in terms of what the test covers, basically in listening, it's about a 40-minute test divided between three parts. Starts with consultation, workplace communication, and shorter interview. All the parts are again done in a context of a healthcare scenarios. If you look at some of the questions on the right hand side, it again talks about your medical history. Then depending on to that, on the scenarios, definitely you'll have to answer these questions. In reading, which goes on for about 60 minutes, it's again divided between three parts, A, B, and C. The first part talks about the workplace text, wherein you have to do matching, gaffle, and shorten answer question tasks. The part B and C are MCQs, so there will be scenarios given to you. And as I mentioned earlier, it's basically you'll have to do the skimming and scanning in that much of time, and then quickly answer those questions. So reading and listening, while it's common for all the 12 professions which is covered in the OET, so there's no difference between a nursing question paper will have a different section of reading and writing if it compares to doctor or medicine or a physiotherapist. So reading and listening is pretty much same for all the professions, all the 12 professions that we cover. What differs is writing and speaking. So writing and speaking goes profession by profession. So for every profession, the writing tasks are different for customized to that particular profession, and same for speaking as well. Writing again goes on for about 40 minutes, and you basically given on the basis of the case note, you will have to write a referral letter, or probably write a letter to the doctor or your colleague in the hospital, so which is again very much related to what you have been studying or practicing throughout your clinical journey so far. Speaking again, it's the situation is given to the candidate and to the interlocutor who acts as a patient, and then on the basis of the situation, you kind of do the role play. So the entire role play is kind of recorded in a DVR, which is again sent back to OET in Melbourne, and the assessors who they further do the evaluation or the assessment of the speaking test. That's how largely the speaking is done, which is again a very much real scenario, and gives you a complete understanding on how to deal with the patients at a workplace. So these skills or the content of the examination is so much relevant to the examination itself, which makes it more relevant and more authentic when a healthcare professional is actually preparing for the examination, which you won't get in any of the language assessments that you have been preparing. And for the same reason, the candidates feel more confidence when they're preparing for the examination, because they have heard about the topics, they know what they have they have to prepare for the examination, and what kind of questions can be accepted. So everything is related in context to your healthcare, what you have been studying in your courses, or what you have been practicing. Now coming on to this is a very important question, which a lot of candidates, a lot of people ask, that OET is easier from other tests. No, it's not, because although the entire context is covered in the healthcare scenario, what happens is the candidate feels comfortable into the preparing for the examination. But what they forget, a lot of time candidates, they feel overconfident that because the test is within the healthcare scenario, they don't require preparation at all, and then they just go and sit for the examination, and then they fail, or they are unable to expected scores. So definitely the test, the competency level, what is being accepted by the regulatory boards is quite high, is advanced level. And for any examination that matter, you will have to do the preparation for the examination, understand what kind of questions are expected, how to prepare for the examination. So preparation is definitely key when you are preparing for the examination or sitting for the examination. So don't just feel that because it's a healthcare examination, you don't need any preparation at all. Although your English communication might be really good, but preparation is definitely required to before you go and sit for this examination. Moving further, how the scoring and results are being done. It's again done in two manners. One, we do a grading on a parameter of A, B, C plus C, and D, D, E, and then there's a numeric scores as well, which is given. The scores are basically benchmarked to IELTS scores as well, which gives you a clear understanding if someone has previously taken an IELTS examination, what scores they would be needing, or what are the scores that are accepted by the healthcare boards. But what we do is we give you scores on two bands. One is an alphabetical order, which you would see on the screen is starting from A, which is the very basic or minimum. C plus and B are the largely scores which are accepted by healthcare boards. For nurses, it's so if I'm talking about UK NHS, for nurses, they accept 3 Bs and C plus in writing, reading, listening, and speaking is B, and writing is C plus. While for medicine, for doctors, they accept all 4 Bs. The good part in having the numeric score is you actually understand that where exactly you lie on the examination or on the test scoring scale. So say for example, the situation is given here. The person has got 320 in reading and 340 in writing. So although you meet the writing criteria for of C plus, you still require say 30 more marks to be accepted for one of these healthcare boards. So for reading, listening, and speaking, you would require B. So that's how it actually helps, that how much more effort needs to be put into when you are preparing for the examination. So once you see your numeric scores, you actually get an understanding how much more efforts or what else needs to be done in that particular skill. So that actually gives you a very good understanding on to how much more preparation is required. Moving further in terms of ease of access, OET is now available in most part of the world. We cover almost about 44 countries and through 154 test venues across the globe. In India, in South Asia, and in Nepal particularly, we have two test venues. One is ULCI, and there's one in Chitwan as well. So there are two test venues in Nepal. And then there are venues in India, Sri Lanka, all across the place. So that's the kind of presence we have. We definitely are looking to add more test venues as the number and demand increases across the globe. We have, looking at the demand as well, until last year we used to do about 14 tests in a year. From this year beginning, we made it available twice a month for all our candidates across the globe. So we now do about 22 tests every year. The dates for 2021 is yet to be announced, but we hope that it will be aligned with the numbers. Um, it's just that because of the COVID situation, we have to cancel or defer the examination, because of the lockdown or the COVID situations. But we hope that once the situation normalizes, once the restrictions are lifted, we would be able to resume our examinations or a test in a similar number. But these are the global dates which are available on the OET website. You can just visit our website and check the testing dates. Those are available. Just to talk about some of the recognition and some of the important countries where OET is accepted. In UK, it's accepted apart from NHS. The UKVI is also accepts OET for the registration of tier 2 visa. So that's this was accepted last year, and definitely that has given us a good growth in terms of demand as far as UK is concerned for the healthcare profession. So for the doctors, definitely, you need not to take two tests now. One for your healthcare registration with a healthcare board, and the other for the visa purpose. If you just take one OET, you would be able to get through the examination or get through your registration process. For visa and for NHS as well. We have recently been accepted by US ECFMG, for international medical graduates. So people who would want to, who have already have a registration number from ECFMG, they can just go on and register on the OET website, and you would be able to book a slot. This has been just a news announced last week itself. And for nurses also, the state boards of Florida and Oregon, they've accepted OET for nurses. It's just that they are yet to finalize the actual date from when are they going to accept. Otherwise, so we are just working on the dates which are going to be announced very soon. But so far, for doctors, it has been accepted and announced globally. So all the doctors out there who are attending the session, it's a great news, and I hope you would be able to utilize the full benefit of this recognition that we have got. Moving further, again talking about some of the opportunities, I don't think that there's something very new to you, but then definitely WHO says, and this was all this data was before pandemic or pre-COVID times. They said that there are about 18 million shortfall by 2035. But if you look at the current scenario, I think the number has further fallen behind, and there's a huge requirement that has come into the healthcare sector. Various reasons: aging population, insufficient entrance to the profession, increasing care expectations, and advances in medical treatment. And that also brings to one of the point that countries like India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, we being a source country, a lot of people from our place, since we are a young population, we kind of apply to these sort of countries. While there are people, they may not be taking this profession, but I think it's a very kind of catchy for us as well, and definitely it helps build our career and our lifestyle as well in these countries. Mobility is definitely one of the key reasons in the OECD countries, and if you look at it has increased by 60% over the last 10 years. So definitely that's one of the reasons why those kind of numbers are being indicated by WHO. But as I said, I think if they review those numbers, I think definitely the numbers would have gone further to that. Other reasons could be medical tourism as well. So within the countries, I think there are a lot of medical tourism that has increased. Within US itself, if you look at about $3,800 to $6,000, that's each medical visit which cost, which also means that a lot of people, they travel to some of the countries like India or Nepal for their medical reasons, to get themselves treated, because the cost of treatment is so expensive in those countries. Again, the number that is expected to increase by 25% per year to 2026, so which is really quite high. And one of the other factors is definitely the language factors there. Whenever someone chooses to get themselves treated in a particular destination, so definitely language plays a very important role there. So even if you are not if you don't want to go to work in an English speaking country, within your own country itself, you can continue to take the examination and help patients, or increase your economy, help increase your economy through medical tourism. Um, there has been a lot of word across in terms of shortage in healthcare. NHS definitely they are looking at. I think more than what the recent figures they said was about 75,000 nurses they are looking at currently. There are about 17 to 20,000 doctors. Is what they are looking at. So, which are like, I mean, very difficult to meet those kind of targets. But I think if there's a huge opportunity in countries like this. Even US they have recently come up with huge requirement in terms of their healthcare industry. So that definitely gives a huge opportunity for doctors and healthcare professionals and nurses to apply to these countries. Now, this is something which I think would definitely interest you about the engagement of with the OET and what kind of supports are available. So, in terms of preparation, there's something called a Start for Success package, which is available on our website. Um, One can visit our website and check the Start for Success package. It's absolutely free of cost. You get some sample videos, and there are a lot of courses, online courses, which comes free of cost. But there are also paid sessions as well, which means once you have gone through the initial stages, you can buy some advanced sessions as well. There are sample tests available, master classes are there, and live Q&A, which I'm going to talk more about it. Um, we do run Facebook live sessions, and these days we are running since the I think during the COVID times we have started running a lot of all stars sessions which are being run on Facebook. There are a lot of I think almost 2 sessions we run every week by OET experts education team, and they do live Q&A sessions. There's one being run by Rebecca Bush, who some of you would have seen her video on Facebook. Then we have a colleague again from education team who runs the preparation classes as well online, and these are done, I believe, every week. So all you have to do is just like a official OET page on Facebook, and you should be able to get the notifications whenever there are live classes which are happening. There are master classes which are available on the OET website, and all you have to do is just visit the website, and you will be able to see the master classes. These will give you a complete understanding about each skill, individual skill of the OET, and complete understanding on terms of preparing for the examination. What are the topics are available in terms of reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And anyone who is very new to OET, I think it's definitely recommended for them to go ahead and attend these master classes. These are again prepared by our colleague Rebecca Bush, who is part of our education team based out in Melbourne. All you'll have to do, as I mentioned, their master classes again recorded by her, but then she also does a live Q&A sessions on Facebook. This is almost like every week, I think. Just go and hit the like button on our Facebook page, and you should be able to see our sessions. We have also come up with the OET preparation book. This was launched last year. So there are a few books which are that you can purchase online through Amazon, and also through other local publishers, I believe, local vendors, sorry. So these books are available for nurses. Medicine, we are yet to come up with a book, but there are books which are available. If you just Google it online, you should be able to find books for medicine as well, which are being published by some of our premium providers. I was talking about a Start for Success package. So these are some of the content which are kind of given. There are video lessons, OET subtests are there, grammar lessons, writing guides are there, and video explanation. So apart from these, this is again done jointly with one of our premium providers called E2 Learning. But there are also paid packages. So in case you would want to utilize or use by any of these paid packages, you can just go ahead and do that. Um, we also do a nurture campaign for our candidates. So once you register for the examination, you would receive a series of emails from us guiding you on to the preparation for the examination, what needs to be done, how you need to prepare, and things like that. So these are quite useful, and definitely this is kind of shared with you once you have registered for the examination. This was a small survey which was done in, I think, 2018, end of 2018-19. And that's the candidate satisfaction survey. Almost 84% of the candidates, if you look at globally, they are satisfied or very satisfied with their experience of taking OET. In terms of unsatisfied, they're only 2% or 7%, which definitely shows our data or in terms of customer satisfaction. um, some of the employee colleagues, if you look at who would have taken the examination previously, and what they think about it, use of English effectively in their workplace. 93% of candidates or the employees, they feel that it was really effective. They have been able to 68% feel that they were able to communicate well with the patients. 83% felt that they were able to communicate well with their colleagues. So all of these, kind of things, if you look at, largely the candidates who would have taken OET and joined a workplace, in a healthcare, they feel that after they have taken OET, the performance level has increased in the health-related workplace. They were able to do well, in terms of reading or any other factor for that matter. Some of the testimonials, while this is, you can definitely visit our website and look at these, but I'll probably just read one or two. So one of the doctors said that by preparing and taking OET, you learn the language that you need to use and master in your daily professional life. One of the nurses from India, she said that OET is specific for healthcare professions, so it's easy to practice and perform in the exam. There are a lot of other testimonials which are available on our website, and you would be able to look at it once you visit the website. But definitely, the exam is accepted internationally in countries like Australia, New Zealand, UK, Ireland, Singapore, Dubai, Namibia, Vietnam, Ukraine, and US as well. Now, I've not added because it's just got approved late last week only. So these are some of the regulatory boards, healthcare boards, which accept OET. In case you would want to see a full list of healthcare boards, just visit our OET website and you should be able to see the full list. One of the employers testimonial that we received who said that OET test takers are perceived as effective communicators, able to communicate on matters that are both technical and emotional, and who can use lay language so that patients can easily understand what they are saying. And I believe most of the employers today now, when they are accepting candidates who would have taken OET in past, they have this kind of understanding. They are quite confident of the examination, because if you look at any other general English examinations, it won't give you those kind of platform to prepare for the examination. OET is an examination which actually takes up the tasks which are actually used in your real healthcare scenarios. Excuse me. And that's where it makes it more important, and one of the preferred choices for the healthcare professions when it comes to taking English examination. And that's the reason why it has become one of the choices for not only healthcare professions but also for the employers, for the regulatory boards, because they have seen the differences, for the candidates who would have come and join after taking a general English test, as compared to the healthcare professionals who would have taken OET and join in the workplace. So we also have a YouTube channel. On YouTube, OET YouTube channel is there. Feel free to visit that page, and you would be able to see a lot of success stories. But there are also a lot of sample sessions which are posted on the YouTube channel. Once you subscribe, you will be getting the notifications, and you can see a lot of learning materials, learning video materials which are posted on the YouTube, and that will actually help you in preparing for the examination. With that, it brings me to the end of the OET presentation. I will pass it on um, to Rumi, and then maybe towards the end, we're gonna take up the Q&As. I've also received some questions from the candidates while they were registering, so I'll probably take up some of the questions from there. And in case there are any live questions which are coming in the chat box, I'll be happy to take those as well. Thank you so much, Rumi. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. This is very informative and very useful information on OET overview. And definitely our doctors and nurses at the webinar will benefit from this. Thank you, sir, again. Now, secondly, I would like to invite our ULCI principal and OET instructor, Ramanas Chatri, sir. He has worked in this educational field for more than 25 years. He has supported students in national and international level with his knowledge. And also he has worked as a teacher trainer at Tribhuvan University. So Ramanas, sir, please take the floor.
Thank you very much, Rumi ma'am. And I would also like to thank Mr. Vusan for such an informative presentation. Now, for my part, I'm going to give you a brief information about what Universal Language and Computer Institute has done regarding OET exam administration in Nepal and OET preparation. Now, let me share my monitor. Now, the good news is that our OET center is open now in Kathmandu. Okay, it was closed for some months because of the COVID situation. And Universal Language and Computer Institute is the authorized OET test center in Kathmandu. And our center is fully ready to administer the OET examination in Kathmandu. I would like to let you know that we understand the safety is a big concern for all of us. As our center, we too are genuinely concerned about your safety as well as our safety. So what we do at our center is, at the gate itself, we have put a big notice board like this. We strictly do not allow people to enter our test venue without wearing masks. We also check temperature at the entry gate, and after that, only we let our visitors enter our venue. Now, after taking the temperature, once the visitors are in the compound, we sanitize their hands after they wash their hands first. You can see the arrangement in the picture. On the left side, we have got a sanitizer, and on the right side, we have got a hand washing system, which we have been using. And this is our examination hall. So we clean and sanitize the halls after every use. This is our OET speaking examination room, and we have got more than 12 rooms like this, and each room is designed for evaluation. After that, we send the recording to Australia. And another good part is Universal is open for preparation classes, because after you make up your mind for taking OET, you have to have preparation. So what we do is, for that, we have made the arrangement at ULCI. And for OET students and visitors who visit ULCI, we have made all the arrangements the same arrangements that we have made for administering OET exam. For preparation classes, we have designed 3 types of OET classes. The first one is completely online. You don't need to come to the institute to take the class. You can take it from anywhere. You can take it from home or whenever you are free in your work. This is especially good for those who are out of the valley. The second one is the hybrid class. Here, the students can have combination of online and offline classes. For this, you can take the classes online and also meet your OET instructors face-to-face in the classroom whenever you require. And the third one is the offline class. Now, this is a face-to-face class with your instructor. You can take the class in the classroom. So you can see we have got 3 options, and you can choose any option, whichever suits you the best. And now I'm going to show you our classrooms. This classroom we have is for a face-to-face class at ULCI. And we strictly follow the guidelines of the government of Nepal. And we also keep proper social distancing, even in the arrangement of our tables. Now I'll show you another slide, bigger one. This is our classroom. You can see our classroom, very spacious. Regarding online class, we are using Microsoft Team programs for instructions. And for this, we have also collaborated with one of the most popular online preparation companies called E2 Language. E2 Language is also a premium preparation center for OET. You can purchase this course at our institute. Now, to support our students, we have got a well-stocked library as well as the resource center. But currently, because of this COVID situation, these centers are closed. But we have put all the resource materials that we have in the library as well as the resource center online. Okay? Now, students can access these materials online. During preparation time, in order to make your preparation classes effective, we conduct regular mock tests using authentic materials. The OET mock tests are conducted in the actual test environment. You see, we have found out that this type of mock tests actually boosts your OET score in the actual exam. And after every mock test, we give appropriate feedbacks for all the 4 sections. We tell you in which areas you need to focus and which areas you need to put more stress so that you can improve in those areas. Apart from these preparation facilities, we also have student services. The services we have is we have got spacious parking facilities, both for 2-wheelers and 4-wheelers. We also have made provisions for refreshments. We have a canteen and a bakery. Here you can have an excellent range of healthy, tasty, and clean food. So these are the preparations we have made at our institute. And finally, I would like to wish you all the best for the success of your OET classes and your OET test. That's all from my side. Rumi ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you again for walking us through Universal Language and Computer Institute, sir. Now, finally, I would like to invite Dr. Ashik, MBBS graduate from Kathmandu Medical College and Teaching Hospital. He is also our OET instructor at ULCI. Dr. Ashik, please, if you can take over the webinar, please.
Thank you. So I'm quickly going to share my screen here. Thank you, ma'am, again.
Thank you.
Good evening to everyone in this webinar. I am Dr. Ashik Razak, an MBBS graduate from Kathmandu Medical College and Teaching Hospital, Sinamangal, Kathmandu, which is affiliated to Kathmandu University. I am also the former Vice President of the Rotary Club of Kathmandu Medical College, the student body based in Kathmandu Medical College and Teaching Hospital. So firstly, I would like to welcome everyone to this webinar, all the participants who are mostly health professionals, doctors and nurses who have been battling this pandemic for months now. Huge respect to each one of you. I believe we are all here today because we want to learn about the OET exams, and most probably you are on the route to or might be looking forward to your future in the US, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, or the countries that accept OET as a proof of English language proficiency. I will now quickly start with my presentation to give you an overview of how the classes at Universal is actually conducted. So, quickly running through it. We run classes in two different formats, the face-to-face class and the online classes. We also have this hybrid class thing, which Ramesh sir previously talked about. To start with, I'll take you through the format of the face-to-face or in-person classes. We offer a number of shifts to choose from, which are done in the morning, day, and evening, taking into consideration that doctors and nurses have a pretty hectic schedule. ULCI is flexible with the timings for classes. The entire course comprises of 4 subsections, which is completed in a duration of 4 weeks. Each subsection is allotted a total of 10 hours, 2 hours per day for 5 days. So the classrooms at ULCI are well equipped with high-end audio-visual facilities to facilitate the learning process for all subsections, to make classes effective and save valuable time. So we use virtual whiteboards for all kinds of illustrations. So handouts and authentic materials are provided during the classes itself. So we encourage tech-friendly learning. We use Microsoft Teams platform and ULCI's online platform for facilitation, information sharing, assignments, updates, and feedbacks. So we facilitate all doctors and nurses during the duration of your classes and after your classes are finished. We have friendly interactive classes, which are entirely time simulated, during which we have detailed discussion on the topic. Feedbacks are taken every once in a while from students so as to work on our classes and teaching procedures as well. We create groups to facilitate and support our candidates for the real exams. We have a fixed curriculum and a well-planned roadmap for each of the sections of the OET. Continuous assessment and monitoring of the progress of each of our candidates is done from start to end of the course itself. We go through the course with detailed discussion of the format of the test, how to prepare for the test, and methods to crack the test itself. Extra support is provided for everyone who needs more guidance. Also, we thoroughly discuss areas of weaknesses and have elaborate discussions to solve issues entirely. We also run online or virtual classes. A number of shifts are available in the morning, day, and evening, so upon demand, depending on the number of students, and we offer flexible timings again. So classes delivered via the Microsoft Teams app, materials, feedbacks, and support. Everything is provided online. We also have mock tests that are done online itself. Concluding my presentation, again, I hope this webinar was helpful to you and helped you understand a lot of things related to the Occupational English Test. Thank you for sparing some time off your busy schedule to be here today. Do remember ULCI for any guidance on your journey to get through to your dreams and the OET again. We at ULCI are dedicated to help you get to your goals. Wishing you all the best for the future. Finally, I'd like to thank the entire ULCI team, OET Senior Business Development Manager for South Asia, Mr. Ashish Hussain sir again, and our collaborators, Rotary Club of Kathmandu Medical College and Rotary Club of Kathmandu University Medical School, without whom putting up this webinar would not have been possible. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashik, for your wonderful presentation on ULCI's online classes and face-to-face on-site classes at ULCI. Now we are open for the question and answer session. Please feel free to ask. You can drop in the chat box, then we can respond to that questions.
There's one question here. Shanjan is asking the duration for the preparation of OET exam at our institute. Our preparation duration is 1 month, which is 2 hours a day, and it's 40 hours in total. Within a month, we can finish the course. And Asik sir, there is a question about PLAB.
Okay, the question is for PLAB UK, is it OET valid or IELTS we have to give? So again, like previously answered, the PLAB to the UK, it accepts both OET and IELTS as a proof of your English language proficiency. So it's all up to you to decide which one you'd like to take up. So both of the products are again Cambridge. So depending on what your preference is and what your level of English might be, it would be okay to take any of the two.
Promise sir, there's another question, if you can take that. What is the cost of each program at the institute?
Well, we charge 30,000 for the complete package. And in that package, we include preparation classes, mock tests, and mock tests also include OET speaking. Okay, and we also provide E2 language package for our students. So all these packages are included in 30,000.
There's another one. Ashish sir, if you can take that question.
Yeah.
Is the format of OET similar to USMLE as it was before?
Yes, so nothing has, thanks for asking the question. Nothing has changed in terms of the examination. The format of the exam completely remains the same, irrespective of being accepted by ECFMG. Yeah, so there's no change in the format of the examination. It continues to remain same. So thanks a lot, everyone, to all the participants who have been able to join today's session. During the registration, we also asked some of you to, there was an option to ask any questions. So what I'm going to do, I'll just take up some of those questions which we have received, and feel free to add in case there are any more doubts. Someone has asked about the format, materials, the scoring, and preparation of the examination. I think it was all covered into my preparation, but even then, in case there are any questions or any inquiries that you have, please feel free to visit OET's website, occupationalenglish.test.org, and you would be able to see how to prepare for the examination, what is the content or material for the examination. There was another question, can we give OET for PLAB? I think this has just been answered by Dr. Ashik. So yes, you can. Someone wants to know about the basics of OET. Again, please refer to the Occupational English Test website. On the website itself, there's something called Masterclass. And the Masterclass will give you a complete understanding about the different sections of the examination for all the 4 skills. Someone has asked, is OET total substitute for USMLE step 2? So so for USMLE, definitely the ECFMG, they have accepted OET, but then definitely USMLE will have to be taken. But this is against I think they have clinical skill CS2, which is under which OET is accepted as one of the pathways. So my recommendation to you will be that please visit the ECFMG website, and on that you will be able to get more information onto the requirements. If you want, I can probably post the link on on the chat box here, and you should be able to see this thing for the USMLE. Again, someone has asked about the OET versus IELTS and why is OET costly, expensive. One of the basic reasons is if you look at any of the general English examination, they are only covering your English communication skills. But when we are talking about, so which means that the people who are creating the tests are general English tests, these are language experts. But in terms of OET, there are two kind of experts who are involved. One is a language expert, and then there are subject matter experts. Now, since OET covers 12 professions, and for each profession, there are different type tasks which are kind of covered in your speaking and writing. So while reading and listening remains same for all the examination, for all the professions, the speaking and writing differs for each and every profession. So therefore, to develop or to write the content or then to write the examination, we require a subject matter expert of that particular profession, which is then vetted or verified by the language experts. So there are two sets of experts who are kind of involved into writing the question paper or the materials, and that's one of the simplest reason why the exam costs more. You yourself, some of you are doctors, you would definitely understand the cost for the SMEs are not less, and definitely that's one of the key reasons why the exam is expensive. But you would also appreciate that given the fact we do understand the cost of the examination, the fees of the exam has not been increased in the last 5 years or 6 years. Apart from that, what we also came up with is a group booking kind of a scheme, wherein if you are applying, if more than 6 candidates are applying together, they would be able to get a discount, slab wise. So on the OET website, if you go, you will be able to see what are the slabs, and there are discounts as high as 30% which are available for candidates to avail. So feel free to visit the OET website. Someone has asked how to prepare for OET. What I can suggest you is on the OET website itself, there's a section called Prepare. On the top of the website, you will see a section called Prepare, and under that there are tabs which will show you the information about our preparation providers, premium preparation providers across the globe, and you can enroll their programs online or offline. They do offer classes. The contact details are available there, and you will be able to go through their content. Apart from that, there are books available which are there from the OET shop. You can buy directly, and use those course books for your preparation. Someone has asked pros and cons over IELTS or other examination. I think one of the basic reasons for taking OET is definitely the context of the examination is completely developed in a healthcare scenarios, in a healthcare context, and that makes it unique. There's no other examination worldwide which offers you English for a specific purpose as OET, and that makes it unique. So you don't have to study anything or everything under the sky. Whatever questions those are going to be asked in any of the sub skills, reading, listening, speaking, and writing, it will be relevant to what you have been practicing, what you have studied in your graduation or your post graduations, which makes it more comfortable for you to prepare for the examination. And that's one reason why the passing rates for OET is also higher as compared to any other general English examination. Someone has asked, is BDS degree qualified enough to give the test? Yes, we do cover dentistry, which is covered again by OET, and you can definitely um, take OET for for your dentistry profession if you're applying to any of the health boards. Um, Someone wants to know about USMLE again, as indicated, as mentioned earlier. All you need to do is just visit the ECFMG website, and you should be able to get more information. Someone has asked why OET is necessary for doctors. I think you would have got the information by now that why the test is important for the healthcare professions, because of the nature of the examination. It's prepared for English for a specific purpose, and because of the content of the examination, the nature of the examination is devised within the healthcare scenario. So the scenarios are very much relevant to your workplace, and all the cases are picked up from your life workplace scenarios. um, Someone has asked, what changes can we expect in the examination approach process and the entire application process to UK due to COVID-19? Okay, that's a very good question. So there are destination guides available on the Occupational English Test website. So if you go on to OET website, you will be able to see these destination guides, be it for UK, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, or US. So these destination guides will actually help you what is the process, how you need to approach for the examination, what kind of exams are required, for yourself to register and work as a healthcare professional in one of those countries. As far as the situation that has arisen after the COVID situation, I think for that matter, you will have to individually visit the regulatory board's website. Say, for example, if you are applying to GMC, then definitely you'll have to check on the GMC website about the PLAB exams, PLAB exams, when and where you can take, and whether it has been affected due to the COVID situation. So these are some of the questions. I think someone has asked, does it help for fellowship applications in Australia or immigration? And OET is valid for how many years when completed? Largely, the regulatory boards, they accept the OET scores for 2 years. So within 2 years, once you have taken the examination, you have got the scores, relevant scores, you can apply to these healthcare boards within 2 years. But my advice or suggestion to you would be that whenever you are applying to any of these healthcare boards, please visit their website, and you will have a complete information on to the acceptance of the examination and the validity as well. Because we, as an assessment organization, we only issue the score reports or the report cards for a particular candidate. For how long the test can be accepted, this is something which is kind of approved by the healthcare boards itself. So that is something which you'll have to find out from the regulator's website. Someone has asked, the answer to this is it may take as less as 1 month to as long as 6 months for someone. It purely depends on to what is your level in terms of your language skills, and it's not a straightforward answer or a standard answer to give. That largely candidate will take, a particular person will take 1 month or 2 months time. So usually what our preparation providers do, that once you enroll for the classes, they will first do your diagnostic, your assessment to try and understand what is your current level. And on the basis of your current level, they are going to advise you that how long the course duration is going to be, which means for every sub skills, they will be giving you a proper guidance. And depending on the level of your current level of your language, the course duration is going to be recommended. But it purely depends, as I said, it purely depends on your language level. Yeah, so those are some of the questions which were asked during the registration. Someone has asked, will the result of OET come earlier for USMLE? I'm not sure what is the question, but basically the ECFMG is accepting the OET scores from 1st of August this year. And to know more on to the OET and ECFMG acceptance, all you'll have to do is visit our FAQ page on the OET website, and you will have most of your questions answered there. What I can do, let me quickly see if I can, in fact, on the homepage itself of the OET website, if you click, you will be able to see the FAQ section, and that will actually help you answer some of these questions. How many times can we retake the examination, and if we pass with low score, can we give it again to prove the score? Yes, you can definitely give it, take the examination as many times as you want. But we don't recommend that. What we recommend is to take the examination only once you have prepared, and once your teacher or your tutor has confirmed that they have shown confidence in you and they have confirmed that yes, you are now ready to take the examination. Otherwise, you will keep on taking the examination without a good preparation, and you may not be getting a right score or the expected score. So my advice to you is definitely you will have to do the preparation. Don't just take it as a healthcare examination. We are not assessing your technical knowledge of healthcare or of your medicine knowledge or your nursing knowledge. What we are only checking is your language communication, how to deal with the patients, how to communicate with your colleagues in a workplace scenario. So you definitely will have to prepare for the examination. Yes, as I said earlier, because the entire examination is prepared in the healthcare context, it makes it more convenient and comfortable for the candidates when you're preparing for the examination. So so there's no limit on to how many times you can take. But something to be considered is, like in UK NHS board, they accept your scores within the 6 month of a time period. So say in your first attempt, if you have got a score of say 3 Bs and 1 C plus, or 1 C in say speaking, you got C, and the rest of the 3 you got B. While for medicine all 4 Bs are required in the second attempt, and that too if you take within the 6 month time period. And in the second attempt you got 4 Bs, or you again got all 3 Bs, and maybe this time C plus or C in some other subscale. But in total, if the score comes out to be B for all the 4 skills in both the attempts, then your scores will be accepted. So that is something which is a time bound, and it has to be done within that 6 month of period. Again, you can check this particular information on the OET website itself. There's a FAQ section, and that will actually help you to give you exact information on how this is kind of accepted. You can also check the same information on NHS website or NMC or GMC website as well.
I'd quickly like to ask this question again. So we previously had this question which dealt with this OET result in respect to the USMLE. So that question would, I think, the person was actually trying to see this. So we have this 16 days frame for the results to come out after we've appeared for the OET exams. So is that frame going to come down to a few lesser days, taking into consideration the people who are sitting for the USMLE have a very small time frame between their CK exams and their application, which they have to keep after they're done with their OET. So is the 16 days of working days, the frame going to come down in any context?
Thanks for asking that question, Dr. Ashik. I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, and I don't think this is something which is covered in our FAQ section, I would request if you can send me an email, which we can then go back to our team and, probably check with a respective person on to exact answer for this. I just don't want to give you any wrong information there. So yeah, just feel free to drop me an email, and we'll be happy to answer you on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish, sir. And thank you, Dr. Ashik. We are almost at the end of our webinar now. I would like to take this privilege thanking all the participants and the presenter, our Ashish, sir, and our co-presenter, Dr. Ashik and Romanas, sir, for making this webinar successful. You can reach us via phone 441-8599, 4427358, or 4427359. You can also reach us by email. It's info@ulci.com.mp. We have our website, www.ulci.com.mp. We also have our Facebook, ULCI KTM. And finally, I would like to wish you all the best, and thank you, and be safe.
Thank you so much, Rumi. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Dr.
everyone.
Ashik.
Thank you, Ms.
Bye-bye.
Bhushan.
Thank you, Dr. Ramnas.